Okay, so I started to try to come up with an idea of some kind of, breakdown of what to tell you guys when, like in this, series of videos. And I'm sure somebody could put it into some kind of coherent order, which sounded really good and was real pretty, and do some editing and all those things. And that'd be great. And then the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I just wanted it to be raw, just like real life. So it's going to be disjointed. It's going to be wandering. I'll go off on tangents. Um, some things won't make sense based on other things I've said, because I'll start talking about trying to, keep control and, breathing and existing. And then I'll talk about how, bad drivers make me furious. So, but that's kind of life, right? It's not all one way or the other. There's a mixture of everything in there. There's good, there's bad, there's dark sunlight, all those things, and sometimes just some gray, right in the middle about how you feel about things. But that's me, so you won't get any apologies from me. I kind of like where I'm at right now, but yeah, maybe we'll just start in the beginning and we'll go from there. So. Uh, I was born June 9th, 1971, in Poughkeepsie, New York, to Don and Diane Moss. Beth and Joanne are my sisters. Beth is 4 years older than me. Joanne is a year younger than I am. And I grew up in Highland, New York. So I was a kid of the 70s and 80s and grew up in a small town where I graduated with 74 people. And I remember I was very, very nerdy. Um, I think that's a great thing now. But I was bullied quite a bit when I was younger until I experienced this thing called puberty and, got 5 inches and 30 pounds, like over one summer. And then it's amazing how those guys kind of drifted away. But I have stories about that too. So I grew up watching G.I. Joe and Transformers, after school, playing Dungeons and Dragons and, you know, doing all the imagination stuff. I remember me and Joe Rubino throwing stars at each other in the backyard, because we thought that was a great idea because we'd seen all the kung fu movies, and we could do that too. Um, I think Joey tried to catch one time and that didn't go well, shockingly. But we had targets and all this other stuff, and we were ninjas, sometimes, and then we would play like knights, and we had this backyard, and we had a creek, and um, you know it was a good upbringing. I mean, I have points that certainly made me sad at the time when I was growing up in Highland, but I remember it fondly. Yeah, and then grew up through there through high school. Uh, your granddad, Papa, he was in the Air Force for 4 years. I played football. I was captain of the football team. Just started breaking my ankles. One year, one the next year. Wasn't very good. And so joined the Air Force when I was 17. Went in November 2nd of 1989 and remained for 23 years. I was, 12 years enlisted, and then I was 11 years officer. Crossed over in April of '01 and became a lieutenant after being a staff sergeant. And after that, yeah, got into CrossFit in Iraq, thanks to Ed. Thanks, Ed. And opened a CrossFit gym. We were in Tampa at the time. Opened a CrossFit gym, CrossFit Apogee, for multiple years. Decided to come to Cincinnati to help your mom's, Tracy's mom and dad, stepmom and dad, and moved into Old Milford, Ohio, which has been absolutely fabulous. I didn't think anything could really match Riverview and the family that we had there, the neighbors, but Milford is a good place. It's magical, and I love it. And sold the business, still doing some consulting at this time. It's the 18th of June, 2019, when I'm making this. Still doing some consulting, on the side. And yeah, and here we are. Your mom's going to school. You're going to Waldorf. Michael and Amanda, you guys are down in Florida going to school. And so here we are. So that's the quick and dirty, for the origin story, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into a lot of those points. But we're in a good place right now. Um, yeah, everything seems to be going along pretty well, and I'm pretty happy about that. And I'm surrounded by good people. Okay, all right, I love you guys.